Hey y'all, Zuri again. You have found Talk Yarny to me once again. As I said, my name is Zuri. I'll be talking Yarny with you for a little bit. Just showing you guys what I have been working on this last week or week and a half since I last posted. Actually, I've been kind of busy. Got a few things finished or worked on. My job, after they made me go back to the office, or made everyone go back to the office back in March, switched me back to remote. I'm just shifting. I have a cup of tea like right on the edge of my desk here that I'm nervous. I'm trying to shift everything over, so it's just got a little bit of space. Yeah, so my job switched me back to remote after 4 months of being in the office because so I think I mentioned I work for a movie production company, and we're kind of rearranging what studios we shoot out of. And so the one that I work out of, or that my office was in, it's really just a warehouse, we're not going to use as much anymore. And so they switched me back to remote, and so I've been home more. I do need to go in a little bit just to wrap things up there and help ship some equipment to other places and things like that. But I've been taking full advantage of like being back to being remote. And part of that is that I've gotten to sit and do some knitting and crocheting while I work. So that's good. So I'm going to show you guys what I've been working on. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you, it's actually over here, hang on, is this will be the last time seeing my spiral blanket. I just wanted to show you guys that I showed you I finished it. I just had to put a border on, and I have done that. It's the wrong side. So I just used some Bernat Premium and did an I-cord border. I actually did it backwards. I couldn't remember off the top of my head, like when I started this, like which side you're supposed to start on. But if you work from the wrong side, then the right side, you get like this kind of neater edge, as opposed to here where you can kind of see where the stitches are picked up. But I worked on the right side, so I picked up from and so the neat edge is on the wrong side, but I don't think it's that big of a difference, and it's done. So I was trying to remember, so that's just all I was going to show you that. So I've got a box. Actually, I went to Walmart to buy a box, and I guess they were like restocking or doing some stocking while I was there, and I found a perfect size box. So I didn't have to buy one. I'm gonna fold this back up when I'm done, put it in there, so that's there. And then I still had some leftovers of the Karen Simply Soft stripe, not Karen Simply Soft, Super Saver stripes. I had to go back twice to get yarn to finish it. So I started with 8 skeins. I bought 4 more about halfway through, and then probably about 3/4, maybe 85% of the way through, I had to go buy 4 more. So I used probably 2 of those 4 around, or no, probably 3 of those 4. And so I had some left over. So what I did was decided, because I don't have any real use for them. I like them. I don't have anything I need them for. So I was like, all right, I'll just make my friend some and her daughter some goodies to go with the blanket and send it, because one of my friend's birthday, actually it's today's the 10th, it's her birthday. I text her when I finished the I-cord and everything, and I was like, your blanket's ready, I'm gonna take it. This was last week, of course. I was like, I'll take it to the post office this week to see how much it's gonna cost to mail it, so I can price it for her. And I was like, I got some other stuff, but I'm gonna send it separately, because those are gifts. I don't want you to pay for shipping. But the box I got is actually a little bit big. It'll fit this other stuff. And if they do it by, it goes by dimensions too. So she'll end up paying extra anyway. So I might as well just stuff them in there. So with the first thing I made, she has 3 daughters. One is like 3, I think just turned 3. One is probably 5 or 6. And then one is 8-ish. So, so I did ponchos, was my decision. I decided to do ponchos for them because they live in Texas. First I was gonna do hats, but I was like, I could do like those cute little ruffle hats or sun hats everyone's doing, but I feel like it'll be really hot to wear in Texas, acrylic hat. And I was like, I could just do a winter hat, and they live in Houston. I think it gets cold enough that they do need like put a hat on in the winter. But then I was like, I think I'll just do some ponchos. And I actually thought I had more leftover yarn than I did. But I started with the retro. I think this is retro stripes. Retro stripes. And I did this one. I just did a granny skirt poncho. There's a few different tutorials for these. They're all about the same. I know the adult one, they tell you to chain 80. For this one, I think I chained 64, so I went down a bit. Or maybe even, yeah, probably 64, I think. 64, yeah. Is that divided? Yeah. Something, as long as it's divisible by 8. So this is cute. It said to do, well, no, it didn't say. There was no tutorial for this size, but I kind of just looked up dimensions for some other ponchos, and for toddler size, it was like, I think 18 inches, but I think this is a little less than 18 inches, but it still looked good size for a 3-year-old, I feel like. So there's that one. And then I had a little bit more of the retro stripes. I just started it, and then I finished it with the, what is this? Parrot stripes. So I think that looks good. And I think I even ran out of that before I got to the length I wanted. This is for the 5-year-old. So I got to the length I wanted. So then that's when I got that same Bernat Premium. It's in the color Deep Purple. And I just put some down at the bottom here. So I thought I would have enough to at least get all 3 of the girls something with the stripes, but I couldn't find. I bet somewhere in a month I'll find like a couple more skeins. I feel like I had more left over, but I can't find it. So for the 8-year-old, she might be 9, I can't remember. Maybe 9. I used the Bernat Premium, and then I used this yellow, I believe it's Craft Smart. Just Craft Smart in whatever their yellow is. So I did like 72. I think for both of these, I chained 72. Right? Yeah, that sounds about right, I think. And the Bernat Premium is just really soft. It's so much softer. So I just did that. Just did stripes, and then just did like a bigger purple panel at the bottom. And this one like comes all the way down my waist. So I think she's a really tall 8 or 9-year-old. She's like super, super tall. But I think it'll be a nice kind of poncho for her. And then I started the one for my friend. And I have this half a skein of Bernat Premium left. This will be, yeah, and I want to say I have either 1 or 2 more skeins of that. When I go, I'm just going to go all the way through that. And then I have this yellow, the same yellow I use, and then I have this Super Saver in like a tealy color, jade. So I'll do the yellow, which is over there somewhere, so I can't reach it. Can you see it? I think if I scooch, I think you can, don't worry about it. You saw the yellow, plus the jade. I think that'll be good, like Mardi Gras colors. Purple, I know, is my friend's favorite color. And she's originally from New Orleans. So she likes those, those are good. I feel like it's good Mardi Gras colors for her. So that's what I worked on. I worked on those a lot this week. The first thing I did this week, though, was not that. I did, okay, you guys remember, can I reach them? Oh, here, I'll just remember when I made like these bags, Japanese knot bags, with the Karen swirl cakes. And I said I was gonna make some more because I liked it. I do like it, but I didn't feel like making more because the pattern is broken up into like several different pages. It's just a lot to like click back and forth and find it. It's not just one concise thing, and I have to like do a lot of counting and thinking. It's not just a mindless project. And so last Monday, instead of doing that, while I was working, I grabbed them. I decided to make a basket. And so I did it I started it Sunday night. And I did like 2 held together, 2 strands of the Bernat held together. And first I used a 10 or 11 inch hook. 11 millimeter hook. or size 11. I don't know. I used a bigger hook, but there's 2 held together, and they're like it says it's a 5, but it's a thick 5. I would call it a 6 weight yarn. I was going, but it was too loose. Like you could see spaces in between. So then like at the point where like I made it the size that I wanted, the base, when I started to go up, I decided to switch to a smaller hook. So I switched to like a 9 maybe, and I was using it, and it was still like super floppy. It wouldn't stand up. So the next morning when I went to work on it again, I was like, this is not gonna work. And I undid it, and I went down to like a size 7 hook, and that worked really well. It's a nice kind of stiffer fabric. And so I went out to like maybe about a foot around or so, probably a little bigger than a foot around base, and then started coming up the walls. And then I left like halfway through the day to go out, I think just to run and grab a coffee or something and get some fresh air. And I came back, and like where I'd left it on the floor, the cat was curled up in it, and he did not have any intention of moving. And he finally got up, and I worked on it a little more, and I stepped away again, and I came back and he was there. So I was like, okay, if you want it bad enough, it's yours. So I just did like a couple more rounds, fastened off, and I put it over there, over in my living room over there, and he has barely touched it since then. He sleeps in like, he's got this pillow thing he sleeps on. So I was like, well, whatever. But so then I just started a new one. Did the exact same thing though. Held 2 strands together of like 2 different, because I have a few different colors. And I have like 2 different colors, just so like it's like a, what is it? Not an ombre, but it's like a striping effect. Like it'll go from a solid to like this tweedy thing to like solid of a different color. And it's like, you'll see in a second. So I held 2 different colors together, and you can just see like the way they interplay. And I worked on that all Monday, like while I was working and then after work, and I got the whole thing done in one day. My hand hurt so bad. I've never held 2 strands together. I've never, like even in knitting, I don't think I've ever had to do that. Just never worked on a project that needed it. And I've never crocheted anything that like super thick. So it was new. Like my hand was sore like the whole next day. But I finished it, and I really like it. It's so cute. I made it really tall because the idea of what I wanted this for, this is it. So started, I think I have like, it's like this is like a cookie. There's like a gray one, which is like cookies and cream, which is like gray and white. And then there's this, which is strawberry cream or something, which is like gray to this pinkish color. And so you see how they interplay. But then I ran out, so this is cookies and cream here. When I ran out of that, because I only had a little, I have this other one called Mint Swirl, which if you see is not gray. So this is gray down here, but right around here it switches so to this like minty color, if you guys can see that. So you can see where like it's hard to see because it looks white or gray, but here like you can see in some places better than others, but just where they interplay, and they don't change at the same time, but it still makes a good stripe. You know, it makes a really cool stripe. And the reason I wanted it was to hold all of my various cottons. Like I didn't even realize how many I had. It's a couple dozen just collected at various clearances over this spring. And so that way I can just grab one once I'm done. Just grab one out of here and start my next. Because I always like keep a washcloth on me, especially like it's good for like going out when I'm like riding in the car with my husband. I take them to church, like I'm while I'm waiting for church to start. I'm just sitting there with the family or talking to people. I'm just knitting. I gotta take my mom to the doctor like next week. I'll definitely take it with me. Things like that. Anywhere where I'm just sitting around waiting, or since it's a good one, I can keep in my purse. So as I go, I can just keep it in there. It's nice and tall. It's probably like 18 inches or so tall, maybe a little more. And it's sturdy. So I did that. I've been working on those washcloths, like just little by little. I think I got 2 of these. I got one more on the needles now in my purse, but I haven't had to go anywhere in the last couple of days, so I haven't worked on it. But I can finish that real quick. So I did that. I'll have a picture. I'll put a picture up of like the one the cat stole too, with him in it, I think. I'm looking at him now. He's laying there. Maybe because it was next to me and he just like wanted to hang out next to me or whatever. But I put it next to his other bed. He doesn't care about it. So I did that, and that was cool. I have like maybe 6 more of those swirl cake. So I'm gonna do, that's probably gonna be enough to get me like 2 more baskets. So I'm gonna do 2 more, and they both are in, well, actually the other one is in that, I have 3 more of like that minty color, and 3 more of, it's a different pink. So this is like strawberry pink. The other one is probably cherry swirl, I would guess. It's like a deeper pink. So they'll be a little bit different. I think I'll get like 2 more baskets out of those, and I just need to like give my hand, I mean, now my hand feels so much better. Like I'm scared to start again and just, ugh. But it wasn't bad, and I was able to finish it in one day and make something really useful and cute. So that'll be good. I'll use it to store like yarn. I have like so much yarn, stuff that I'm like, I pulled out of my totes to use, like, and then just haven't got to it yet, just in the living room here. So it'll be a little bit more like pleasant to look at than just like this big Tuesday morning bag and a big like Michael's bag and a pop shelf bag just like filled with random yarns. So that's what I'm gonna do with that. So that's been cool. That's another thing I worked on. And then the last couple of things I worked on, actually 2 things, is one, now that my other big blanket project is out of the way, I got to get back to my son's blanket. And I did a lot. I feel like I did a good amount of damage on that. I probably, when I put it down last, which was several weeks ago, it was probably like down here. So this week I've done like this much, which is a good amount. This represents like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So like 20 rows. It's just like slow going. It's no rush though, but I got to the point, and I don't think it's showing up good yet. It's not. Where I changed the orientation, I guess, of the stitches. So on, let's say this square right here, you can see it. You can see it like horizontally. So this square, I did stockinette for the gray and just purled garter stitch for the blue. To the stitch before and after, the square before and after it, it's garter stitch for the gray and stockinette for the blue. And so you can see that transition that kind of gives you almost like a holographic effect. And so I got to the point where I switched it up now, and the places where the gray, this row here is where I switched it up. So where the gray was stockinette, now it's garter, and where it was garter, now it's stockinette, and vice versa. And I haven't got far enough into it where I guess you can kind of see it there, where you can see the difference and like you can see the hologram effect. You can kind of see it from this angle. I can't hold it really well though. So like, let me try to hold it. Like you can see here, and then it transitions right here, and it transitions here. So once the whole blanket, like once I get a little further into this like second row of squares, you'll be able to see the difference a lot better, but it's gonna be a cool effect. I'm looking forward to how this works out. And I like the colors. I wish I had enough of these. I don't want to buy anymore, but I wish I had enough of just these shades of blue and gray to do the whole blanket, but I don't. I really had just gone through my stash and pulled out all my gray and all my blue. So I think I have 1 more of like that deep navy. I know I have 1 more of that gray, at least 1 more, maybe more. And then where is it? And I have like just different blues. Like the next blue I have is like definitely more of a, it's not a varsity blue. It's right here, but it's like under something. I don't see it. Ugh. See, this is why. I have no idea. It's like right here somewhere because I just saw it. Anyway, so I did that. Just working on that a little bit each day. I did like 3 or 4 rows earlier today. I'll do some more. I don't know if I'll do some more tonight. I might just go to bed. I'm tired. But then the last thing I've been working on is a new baby blanket. So I have the same. So remember I made this blanket here. I showed you guys a couple weeks ago. Pull it out. This was my corner to corner squares blanket, baby blanket. And so I have some more of this yarn. This is Bernat Baby Softy. I have some more of it, and remember I told you guys my friends are fertile? Well, I got 2 friends pregnant already. Like, so that blanket's going to go to one of them because I know she's having a girl. This one, I don't know what the other one is having. Incidentally, their sisters-in-laws and their first babies from last year were also born within a couple months of each other. It's crazy. But my other friend, I don't know what she's having yet, but I wanted to just do another blanket with these same yarns. At first, I was going to do like a solid granny blanket, maybe in stripes. So like 1 round of pink, 1 round of the pebbles. But then I was like, when I have the same yarn, when I have the same yarn, I like to do like 1 knit project with it and 1 crochet project and just like see the difference, you know? So like the same yarn, but a different craft. So I took it out. I had started it. I did a couple rounds, but I was like, no, I'm going to do a knit project. So I'm doing this blanket, which is a mosaic. I've done something. I actually did something similar to this several, like 3 years ago. It's like just a brick wall pattern, but I made like the brick parts of it. I made them garter instead of stockinette, so they stand out. Which is especially good because like the pinks are very similar. Like here you can, if I bring it close, you can see like here where it's pink. But they kind of blend in. If it was like flush with the surface of the blanket, the background, I guess, like it wouldn't like stand out. But it's just a brick wall mosaic. It's really easy to repeat. Well, not really a 2-row repeat, but I don't know if you call it rows, like what you do. No, it's not even 2-row. It wouldn't even be that. It's a really simple repeat. But you know, mosaic is done in by slipping stitches. So these rows that have the pink here, I'll do like 4. It's like a knit 4 and then slip 2, knit, slip 2. So you bring up the other color in between and knit 4, slip 2. So that's how mosaic is done. You can do a lot of really cool, intricate designs. This is a really simple one, but I like it, and I don't have to think too much about it. So I can also work on this while I'm working or doing some other things. And it's just really soft. It's very different feel, partially because it's a different look. Part of this was because I didn't realize, I don't remember if I told you guys that I used the whole wrong hook size when I did this. Like, I think I did mention it. So I went like 2 or 3 hook sizes too big. Just like reading the packaging, and it said 6mm and I did size 6, or maybe it said size 6 and I did 6mm. I don't remember, but I went way too big. And so you can see like it's very loose. It's fine because it's like very loose and very drapey. But it's a very different look. Like just the way especially the variegateds like work together, colors, as opposed to like how they work here. Like even in the border, so to speak, is like all just the variegated one. You see how like they kind of pool differently, like the way they pool in these cool little stripes as opposed to here. I mean, it's just different. It's nice to see that difference. So there's that. But this is gonna take forever because it's such a thin, it's just such a thin yarn. So this is not for my other friend. What I'm gonna do for her, I didn't bring it in, but I was at I think Joann's the other day, and I found this 4-weight baby yarn. It's like, I think it's got like a sparkle or a stellina. I don't remember. I should just pause and bring them in. Maybe I'll take a picture of them. I'll show you next time because I'm gonna get it started. But they were on clearance for I don't know how much, and I grabbed a few, and so that is, I'm gonna do a solid granny baby blanket in that yarn. So it'll be cool. I'll either do stripes. I'll probably do stripes. So it's like a one. I want to say it's like a minty green and like a baby yellow. So it'll be cute and it'll be neutral, and yeah. So I'll do that as kind of my my blanket project for my friend because I don't know what she's having. She probably knows. She found out with her first baby, but I'm not gonna worry about it. And then this will just be, this blanket is just going to be for fun. I mean, eventually it'll go. What I'm trying to do is just build up a stash of baby blankets. Or just blankets in general. Because when people get married, I like to give them blankets too. But just a stash of like blankets and throws that I can gift people. So this will just kind of go in that stash. And that is everything I've been working on this week. I showed my son his Spider-Man hat. And he wants the web to be red. I guess that's kind of how it looks in the costume. Which is fine. I'm gonna give this one to my stepson, probably. I'll make him another one with the webs red. I also found a tutorial that kind of has the webs more as stitches and not kind of just strung on here, but like you chain up, and it goes all the way around too. You chain, you slip stitch around, and then you chain like along the verticals. So it looks cool. And it's a little bit more polished, I think. I don't love like the kind of haphazardness of like where they join. It looks fine. I'm probably in practice. It's totally fine. Like once you wear it, but I don't love it. I got cat hair all over. I gotta wash it. But I don't love that about it. So we're gonna do another one for my son. I meant to do it this week. I just didn't have time. So I'll do one this coming week. And that's everything. That's everything I've been working on. So I've been kind of busy, which is cool. It's cool to like have time at home. Like I don't have a 30-minute commute every day and everything. I just have more time to just to myself, or not to myself, but like just to spend, once I get everything else out of the way, to like spend in crafting. And I just have like stolen moments throughout the day. You know, there's not a ton. Like when I'm sitting in meetings, if I don't have my camera on, I'll crochet. There's some training classes that I have to work on every day. You know, generally like at least an hour, so that's good time for me to do that. And sometimes, every once in a while, I'm just sitting around waiting for work to do, and I can crochet, so, or knit. And so that's what I've been doing. So I got to be like a little bit more productive today than I would usually be, or this week, I mean, this last like week and a half. So that's it. I don't have a whole lot of life updates. I don't think I have any. We just been living. I think I missed the 4th with you guys, so I hope you guys had a good 4th and Canada Day to my Canadian friends. I think the last time I posted was before that. We did nothing. My husband got up early and like rearranged the family room, but thankfully I was supposed to help him with that, but he got up before me, and he came back up like at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. It's like, all right, family room's done. I was like, all right, well, good. This last weekend we took 2 of the 3 kids to this water park near my house. The oldest is on vacation with his mom's family. Actually back to Tennessee, where we just went, like literally the same town we just came from vacation in. But he says he loved it. He's like the one that kind of has the neutral face. I thought he was miserable the whole week, but he got home, he's like, no, it was great, I loved it, it was good. So that's great. So we only had my son and our youngest, and so we took them to the water park. They stayed out there all day. Not all day, we didn't let them stay all day, but they stayed out there for quite some time because we got there right when it opened. Both my husband and stepson got sunburned. And yeah, what else? And that's been it. Just other than that, work stuff. I had a couple projects I've been working on, so that's kind of been taking up my time. I also have to do, I don't have to, but my boss, for my job, there's like certifications that are not necessary, but they definitely help you with your career and just let you know that you know your stuff, you know, and they're good to put on your resume. They're kind of especially when you're getting your foot in the door, they're very, very helpful. But as you go on, you know, it's fun. It's just good, you know, come end of the year to be like, oh, I got this cert, or upgraded my cert. So our boss got us these free training courses, or not free, but they got the job to pay for these training courses, like all access to our industry training, which is like a couple $1,000 each. And then he got us vouchers for certification exam, which could be like, I know the entry level exam is like $200. I don't know if the other exams are more, like the higher level ones are more, but I already taken 2 of the entry level exams, and so I have to go and want to do studying for like a higher level certification. And so our voucher, the training pass and the voucher, both are going to expire in September. So he said he might be able to get us another round of the training. And so I told him, I was like, once it expires, I was just going to buy it for myself for another year, because it's just got a lot of information. It's very useful. But he was like, no, don't do that. I think I'll be able to free up some more training dollars for you guys. So I was like, cool. And but I want to use get another certification before that time. So I bought some, like, the training classes are pretty good, but I bought a book. I'm waiting for it to come. Kind of like the textbook for like for that certification, because the classes are broken up in actual topics, like learn about this and PLS, and I mean, I can say it, but they won't mean anything unless you're a network engineer. Whereas the book is like holistic, like, so I bought that. I'm waiting for it to come, and I bought a couple practice exams. So I've been working on that too, or I've been like during my day, a little bit like downtime at work, and just like in the afternoons working on that. I don't know why I feel like something's in my face. Sorry, guys. I know I'm like touching it, but I keep feeling like something like cat hair probably is like blowing around me. So yeah, that's been it. So we'll see. I'm gonna try to get that done by September, so as not to waste a good free voucher. And that's about all. I will talk to you guys soon. I'm gonna hopefully the next time I see you, I'll have those baskets made. I'll definitely be done with all of the ponchos for my friend and her daughter. I'm gonna wash them and put them in the box and take them to mail. But I'll try to show them to you guys one more time when they're all done before I do that. And the rest I'll just chug away at these blankets. Is there anything else I got? I guess that's it as far as things that are like actual goals for me. So that's what hopefully I'll have to show you the next time I see you. Have a great week. Hopefully I'll be back before another week is out, but if not, I will see you as soon as I can. You guys have a great time. Thanks for tuning in. Please feel free to like this video. Please feel free to comment. Please feel free to subscribe and all of that good stuff. I will see you soon.